InsideFoos presents FoosTalk Live.
And I wait for you.
Sleight of hand and
Just a feint.
the bed of
Mail,
mail, she makes
me
me
wait.
And I wait
without you.
Stream on.
With or without you.
With or without you.
Jim, you want. Oh, are we live? Okay.
Are we live?
No, I love you too.
It's FoosTalk Live.
You talking to me?
Compelling and lively banter.
Are you going to talk to us?
Talking foosball.
Foosball was how I measured my value as a man. You took that away.
Players and fans, promoters and pros. Unedited and raw.
Talk.
Living in the moment.
We have a lot of important things to talk about.
All while practicing social distancing.
Cool. We'll talk. No big whoop.
Let's get this thing started. FoosTalk Live. Coming to you live from the studios at InsideFoos. It's the 67th episode of FoosTalk Live, brought to you by InsideFoos.com, offering monthly subscriptions with access to some of the most exciting matches ever recorded, plus live entertainment, pre- and post-show analysis, interviews, and original programming. Sign up now at InsideFoos.com. Also brought to you by ProtectoFlex, the world's premier safety accessory. Go to Protecto-Flex.com. Brought to you by 518 Prints, one of the best printers of promotional items, t-shirts, hoodies, and foosball apparel. Visit 518prints.com. Brought to you by Foosballers, the movie. This Joe Hesslinger foosball documentary now available as a download worldwide at foosballersthemovie.com. And brought to you by the United States Table Soccer Organization, the USTSO, helping to usher in a new era of competitive foosball. Become a member at usafoosball.com, and brought to you by Foosball Clubs USA, promoting foosball through school systems all over the United States. Visit foosballclubsusa.com and make a donation today. Well, hey there, it's Tom Robinson. Welcome once again to FoosTalk Live. This is a busy weekend. I think that's an understatement, actually. We've got not only live coverage happening with Inside Foos at the Bart O'Hearn celebration in Austin, Texas this weekend. We also have some live coverage coming to you this weekend from Inside Foos for the German Championships, the Deutschmeisterschaft 2021, with Steve Lyall and Rich Marsh. Lots of things to talk about when it comes to foosball. There's no doubt about that. But we'll be taking to you live in the near future here when it comes to these locations throughout the planet, when it comes to foosball as well. In the meantime, thought maybe we could catch up and see what's happening with the folks in those various parts of the world. So let's see what's happening right now when it comes to live coverage. Inside Foos is once again on the tournament scene, providing world-class play-by-play foosball coverage. FoosTalk Live is tagging along.
Back with you here on table number one for some more open doubles action in the losers bracket. That's Tony Spredeman and Scott O'Hare on the left side. Trevor Park, Charles Chuck Moore on the right, and his partner Carlos Cespedes. Tony Spredeman, Scott O'Hare lost to Blake Robertson and Bill Bell in the winners bracket of open doubles, and now Tony looking to cut the lead in half against Charles Chuck Moore.
And and Chuck's off defense is it's not unlike McDonald's. Like every city you go to, you know what you're going to get. He's going to do it, and you just have to figure out, do you want the Big Mac? Do you want the Egg McMuffin?
Which they serve all day these days, don't they?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. What do you do? Mark, come on, chime in.
All I heard was Chuck Moore is like McDonald's.
Right.
So now we're going there. Okay.
No, I mean, but seriously, no. He does that. He does that that pattern, and it's effective.
I think I don't know if he's pulling over a three-man versus Tony, but if he's not, he's going to get wrecked.
All right. Trevor Park, who has really played well here this weekend, passes it through, sets it up against Scott O'Hare, tried to come near side, and that one wide of the goal. Rebound grabbed by O'Hare, who fires that one on goal. First time we've ever seen Tony Spredeman and Scott O'Hare playing together.
Yep.
O'Hare victorious this weekend in the pro doubles competition, playing the forward position, now playing goalie for Tony.
We know who Tony's playing with at the Worlds. Could be anybody.
We will wait and see. He's played with Damon Maring the last few. I would hope he would play with Robert Montes, but
It's Tommy and Robbie, and it's Ryan and Blake. Tommy, you and Brandon. So you wonder who Tony's dancing with.
that's a question you'd have to ask him. And, hopefully by now, or 4 or 5 weeks out, you would hope he would know. Chuck Moore able to pick this one up. Florida against California here. 2-1 lead here in the first game for Trevor Park and Chuck Moore. And the pass along the outside wall by O'Hare to Sprayman.
Was it 2 out of 3, Jim?
2 out of 3, yeah. This one is for, I believe, 7th. We'll double check that. In the losers. Yeah, for 7th place, which means it is indeed 2 out of 3. Chuck Moore. Again, that pass to the middleman.
Yeah.
He's been so good with that. It's the Mark. What is that from doing the slow knife passes the shield?
Oh, Trevor.
I'm sorry, but you completely nerded out on me. Okay.
Trevor, yeah.
Well, anyways.
Are we about to start rolling dice for Dungeons and Dragons right now?
Well, what a game!
Great.
What a match! Yeah. Wow.
Heavyweights trading hooks in the
Right.
center of the ring on the 5-bar, and really strategic defensive play to slow each other down.
All 3 of us are Trevor Park fans, no doubt about it. We all have known.
Well, I'm
him
a big
since he
Tony
was-
fan. I'm a big Scott O'Hare fan. by the
No,
way.
of course
Yeah.
we are. But
And I have Chuck's poster in my bedroom.
Yeah.
however,
However,
we have not seen Trevor play like this.
no,
in a long
we have
time.
not.
And
No, we have not
if
seen
he
Trevor.
plays at this level, again, he is playing as good as
Yeah.
anybody.
I-
He might be the best player on the table in this match.
Seriously, yeah. No, but that's always been his destiny.
5-bar
I mean,
shot block recovered. Is that what happened? You missed it, Jim. Thank you for the
Up
camera.
here by Tony. We'll look for the lead against Chuck Moore. He finds it back down the middle.
We've been scoring at a high percentage over the last several
Switch,
possessions.
no switch. Tony's going to stay in the forward position. Park looking to match. Sprayed him in if he can. And taken away here by Spreadman. Tony sticks it through the lane. Chance to win it here for Spreadman. Gets more, fires it home, and there it is.
Jeez, that was tight, man.
Wow.
Amazing.
What a performance from Tony Spreadman and Scott O'Hare. They needed it because that team right there, led by Trevor Park, played at an extraordinarily high level as well in what turned out to be a heck of a match, guys. But it's Tony Spreadman and Scott O'Hare who defeat Trevor Park and Chuck Moore and eliminate them in 9th place.
InsideFoos is once again on the tournament scene, providing world-class play-by-play foosball coverage. FoosTalk Live is tagging along.
Evening and welcome everybody to InsideFoos coverage of the German Championships, the Deutsche Meisterschaft 2021. InsideFoos will be bringing you live streaming throughout the weekend as we see who will be crowned German champion in men's, women's and mixed categories this weekend. Not only that, but the winner of each category will qualify for the World Championships in Montreal next year. I'm Stephen Lyall. I'm joined by my good friend and fellow DUGB player Rich Marsh. Good to have you here, Rich. How's it going?
Hey Steve, it's going good. We have glorious weather over here in Bucharest, where I'm broadcasting from. I say glorious weather, it's 34 degrees if you're European, 94 degrees if you're American. I think I am melting and I'm going to get attacked by mosquitoes as the broadcast goes on. But, I'm good.
Well, it's not all good everywhere. We have the classic English weather at the moment with lots of showers. So I'm coming to you from UK in London. And, let us know if you're out there, if you're watching, send us messages on Facebook, comment on the stream. We'll give you shout outs and so on. So try and keep this as interactive as we can. So this weekend, there's a huge amount at stake. We're making our live commentary debut, so that should be interesting. And, we're lucky enough to watch some of the best players from around Germany gather to compete. Okay, welcome back to our coverage of the German Championships Deutsche Meisterschaft 2021. We've got some more mixed doubles action for you on table one, which is what we're focusing on this evening. I'm Steve Lyall, and I'm with my good friend Richard Marsh. And it should be an interesting one, Rich. I think we've got Mylan Tran and Nick Kunath, who we saw just now, up against Max Hoyer and Michaela Klaas, two very good teams.
Yeah, as you'd expect at this stage of Swiss, both of these teams have won their first two qualifying matches. I'm not sure if Hoyer and Klaas had an easier time compared to the comeback we just saw from Tran and Kunath there. But yeah, you're right. Everyone at this table, very good players, very experienced in the mixed format as well. I guess I can probably use this time to give a shout out to my girlfriend Katty, who has been playing with Max Hoyer at Leonhardt Worlds in mixed. I believe they came 5th in 2019 or whatever the year was before the pandemic, as we shall call it. So yeah, Matt's a very good mixed player, incredibly patient on the 5 bar. He gets the ball out there on the 3. This is going to be a very interesting test.
This is a history-making weekend here on InsideFoos, and FoosTalk Alive, of course, giving you a quick highlight. There's what's been going on with two competitions simultaneously, one in Austin, Texas, the other in Germany. And, of course, this weekend, the Bart O'Hearn, everybody knows about the Memorial Bart O'Hearn, and in Germany, it's the German Championships, Deutsche Meisterschaft 2021. The voices you were just listening to belong to Steve Lyall and Rich Marsh, not heard before on InsideFoos or, by the way, on FoosTalk Live before. But again, history-setting weekend, lots of activity happening throughout the planet when it comes to foosball. Everybody's out competing now. It's really changed everything when it comes to the way we look at the sport since we've been locked up with COVID over the last 16, 17 months. Now everybody wants to get out and play. I understand the German championships sold out in a little less than 2 hours. That's pretty extraordinary. And I hope that you're having an opportunity to do some playing. Now, of course, if you want to catch up on what's happening with either one of these tournaments in Austin, Texas, or in Germany, please visit InsideFoos.com. Sign up, subscribe, and you too can see some of these matches live. Also, the replays. They're posting the replays already on InsideFoos, so you can catch up as to what's been happening all weekend long. Once again in Austin, Texas, with the Bart O'Hearn and the German Championships, Deutsche Meisterschaft 2021. I'm Tom Robinson with FoosTalk Live. We're going to travel now to Austin, Texas, and see if we can dig up some live coverage. Adam Gilson, I understand, is standing by for us there. Adam, are you there with us from Texas?
I am, Tom. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. What's happening, buddy?
Perfect. Well, you've already touched on one of the big things happening this weekend in foosball is the continuing the shrinking of the foosball community to be able to see it live streaming as we're doing Bardo this weekend.
Right.
I've been able to watch the matches going on in Germany, and it's just been amazing access.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But the other things that I'm seeing this weekend are the I guess reascendance of Trevor Park this weekend, doing great. I don't know where he's at right now, but he's playing for the winners of the losers bracket right now against Tracy McMillan.
Nice.
He's playing with a fire and an edge that I have not seen him play with in a very long time. And I'm also seeing the reascendance of Tommy Atkinson and Rob Mara as a great 96 I think world doubles champion team.
Right.
This weekend. They got, as they said, they did not do very well at Texas State this year, but and it was a really great interview that Mark Torres did with them post match after they beat Moreland and Blake Robertson, and they can see that they're feeling it. They're getting that fire, that desire, and those two together, they're fire and ice. They play off each other so well,
no doubt,
and they know that about the chemistry. The other thing I'm seeing this weekend, of course, and she's something you see every single weekend, but Sullivan Rue winning expert singles after she got so close at nationals.
Yeah.
And doing it in convincing fashion and with the dip. And then you have, let's see. Oh, and again, there's a new kid on the block, Evan McGregor.
I heard you guys talking about him. Now, there was a bit of confusion with Ewan McGregor, and he's not the actor, correct?
Yeah, it is not, no. But, I mean, he's just as cool as far as I can tell, because he's just great and smart and obviously really talented 16-year years old on the table.
Okay.
But he's a phenomenal blues guitarist.
Really?
And he's not just a blues guitarist. Yeah, well, we have in the bar area, they have it set up karaoke and live music. And in between matches in the evening, he's been going in there, and him and his brother have been doing sets.
Wow.
And they even had live band karaoke where they came in, and I owe everybody a drink or something for making them sit through me singing Bohemian Rhapsody. but he and his brother just picked it up and just did an amazing job. So I don't know. There's a lot of excitement for me about seeing all these developments happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the biggest thing, Tom, has been like the cathartic nature of this memorial tournament.
Right.
Everybody has had a chance to. I mean, everybody's still happy to be getting together, going to these events still, but to be able to sit there and honor the lives of people that have had so much impact. And you can see it at the InsideFoos TV YouTube channel for free, or if you're a subscriber, you can see it there, InsideFoos.com. But it's phenomenal to see the respect that people have for those that we have lost.
Yes.
And to recognize the impact that they've had.
That trophy that I've seen a few times posted on Facebook with all the names that sits in the middle of the room. They just added 23 names this year?
Well, that was this year, but total for last year as well, because of COVID, they didn't have the regular tournament.
Right.
It was upwards of 60.
60? No kidding. Wow.
And so the way that it works, and for me, it was the impact didn't really happen until I saw all of they have little tiny plaques that they give to the people that might be there representing the people that they've lost.
Sure.
And when you saw two banquet tables filled with, bowing under the weight of the legacy of these people,
mm-hmm.
Tom, it's hard. I got choked up just looking at it last night. And I still thinking of. I'll never forget that. I will never forget that.
Yeah, no, it's we take life for granted sometimes. We think we're going to be on this planet playing foosball forever, and none of us could ever say that. So we can't take this time for granted.
And I think really the thing, digging down deep, and I don't mean. I think I'm just being more reflective than anything else, but we're all going to end up on that trophy one day.
Right.
And that's something, when you're at an event, remembering those that have come before and those that have had so much impact, and realize that you yourself in turn will be one day there. I don't know. It's a freeing and also cathartic moment. Experience.
Totally get that. And we're so fortunate that the folks that are working so hard, Ben Kempner and the rest who are there to make this event happen. Give me an idea. What's the turnout like this weekend? I'm
seeing upwards, at least. I think we're in the 200 range. I mean,
nice.
It has been a great turnout. I don't know the exact numbers, but
okay.
This has been the ballroom. The ballroom is very large. It's nice and roomy, so it doesn't have that claustrophobic feel, but it's still been pretty packed.
Right.
So it's been good to see that.
I noticed watching some of the matches this weekend, the bleachers there seem packed. They're filled up, especially with some of the better matches. So there's definitely an interest not only in playing but also watching the action there, which is great to see.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's been great all the way around. This has been a really good experience, I think, for everybody here.
So you haven't scared too many people away with your karaoke. That's my next question.
Well, that's yet to be. We don't know that yet. But I will tell you. That this is the other big development. Maybe 6 or 7 on the highlight reel for me was seeing Jim Stevens up on stage for hours, either singing karaoke or doing backup for people.
Really?
InsideFoos TV turned into InsideFoos hosts karaoke Friday night.
Jim Stevens?
Torres, of course. Mark Torres was the puppet master behind that. He does his thing and he works his will. But he we start off around 5 or 6 and on Friday night, and then it was a hoot, and seeing Jim up there singing stuff with the all comers. The Sissy Whipple was up there. Everybody. It was really good to see Jim cut loose and let down his.
I love that. That is so good. That's an amazing thing. Now, I've often wondered whether or not Jim would actually do something like that. Now it's been proven that he has the nerve.
He does, and it's great too, because what he does is, and as you would expect from somebody like him, he will take center stage when he needs to, but he also knows to back off and provide proper pronunciation for different courses,
He's got
which is what he did.
a new career in front of him. Not only the best play-by-play announcer in foosball, but also now a killer karaoke singer. That's I love it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Can't wait to talk to him about that. So I'm also curious. Do you really have a poster of Chuck Moore on your bedroom wall?
You don't? Am I the only one? I am the only one. Okay. To be fair, full disclosure, I drew it myself, and that's fine. We don't judge. I've been taking sketches.
I love
whether or not he knows.
I have to. It was really interesting to watch. I mean, Chuck did a great job in blocking Tony Sprademan in that match. It was pretty astounding. And when he shot or passed, he just, like you said, he was just there. He was like, what did you compared him to McDonald's? Is that what you did?
I did. And honestly, I was just really trying to, I mean, it was kind of being silly in the moment, but it was the ubiquitousness of what Chuck can accomplish when he's locked in like that.
Right.
Especially against top players like Tony, because, we know what Tony can do. We don't know what, his ceiling, but he can do so much. But what Chuck did is that he just did his thing. And he wasn't befuddled by it. And you do that pattern that he does that he's not chasing. I still think that's one of the best defenses against his offense. And you saw it going all the way back to 2004 when Billy Pappas, I think it was 2004, 2005, Billy Pappas and Trevor Park beat Collignon in doubles. They were doing that slow, methodical defense that was not chasing. And that's what you have to do, because that's clearly what Tony patterned his offense around.
Right.
So I think it's a great matchup. Somebody like Chuck, who's unflappable and not going to race very much, if ever, against that.
Right.
Thus, and that's why I was trying. And I wasn't so eloquent last night, because maybe, it was a little bit more liquid courage than I needed to go stand in front of a crowd and eulogize a friend of mine. But by the time we got to those matches, I was like, he's there. He's everywhere, but nowhere. He's not chasing. So to me, that was my McDonald's. Yeah.
I just love the poster comment. That to me just that made the whole match right there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And
I still haven't gotten the courage yet to get him to sign it, because I still think it's weird.
Right. Right.
It's got sequins on it, Tom.
He might think it's a little weird too. I don't know. We'll just have to. We'll have to get him on. We'll have to get him on the air sometime. We'll have to figure out wher or not he's he's willing to talk about your unusual fandom. Let's put it.
He knows.
Yeah. Oh man, we have to have a good time, don't we? We have to enjoy ourselves. So I got to wonder, what do you think about the performance of Tracy McMillan this weekend? He was wow, he was walking away with it.
Oh my gosh.
I saw him playing Tom Yor, and it looked rather lopsided, I have to say.
It did, and and we talked about that too during that match. It was like we have two old comfortable shoes here that they're not super flashy, and they know their game, they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they are really fast at picking up on their opponents. Right. And so what it was going to come down to was who is going to be able to score the most on three. And normally that's not, obviously that sounds like obvious, but it's not always obvious when you're talking about singles, because there's so many other components and so many other rods. And Tracy, who is fast on the different rods, was able to capitalize on that. He had just enough. And he was in control, especially defensively against Yor.
Right, I noticed. He maybe let in two or three shots that I saw with Tom Yor in his pull shot, and then Tom switched to a snake shot at one point.
Yeah, and we talked about that for 2 points, and I think that was by design, because what he was wanting to do was just change the tempo, do anything.
Right, and
he knows. I think everybody knows he doesn't have the best rollover, and you can see the way he did his first. Push side was, he led with the shoulder. It was not clean, but that doesn't matter. And that was a pro master move, because even if you have to have the guts to do something that isn't going to be the best thing to do in that moment, at least technically. But what it was doing was trying to paint a different picture
I
in
got you.
McMillan's
Okay.
defense.
Yep. Throw him off a bit. Just bring him something new.
Timing.
Yeah.
Change the timing.
And that's really great strategy, especially for those beginners who might be wondering, okay, if I'm down 4-1, what do I do? What's my next best move? Besides taking a timeout.
And and Tom, that's a really great point, because and something that Mark touched upon, that like you can't be afraid to do the thing that doesn't feel quite right in that moment. If you think the same thing you're doing over and over again is going to be successful, and it's not, you have to change it up. And the inverse of that is true, because sometimes you get locked into a mode and you're like, oh man, should I be doing this? This work 3 times in a row. It can't work for a 4th time.
Well,
but it can.
Yeah. Well, logically, you would think, okay, it's such a chess match that way. And
it is. And what that really boils down to is we're talking about adjustments. What kind of adjustments are you going to make against the person you're playing against?
Let's talk about the ladies. Let's talk about what's happening there. Who? I know Sullivan. I know you guys were chatting about Sullivan. What's happening with her, and what's happening with some of the other the top stars there?
Well, Sullivan, of course, obviously is going to be in the spotlight here for a long time and kind of dominates what's happening. But the fact that she's been in the expert singles 2 big tournaments in a row is really telling of just her ability and her not just ability, but the mindset that she actually has.
Right.
The mental hardness to get to those places. And unfortunately, that's one of the larger stories, and that's what's been like being put in front of the tables as over the weekend. I don't say unfortunately as an insult to her, but they're still working through the other matches, the women's matches right now. But that clearly has been the big highlight, to see her continue to perform at that level.
Yes.
And where how high can she go? We don't know. I mean, that's the fun of watching.
That's the exciting part, right? We're waiting to see how things shake out. Of course, we know that if we knew the end of that story, that wouldn't be quite so dramatic now, would it?
Right. Absolutely. No. Yeah.
No. What other notable ladies are spending time there this weekend? I think I noticed that Liz Hill was stopped by the booth occasionally this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was fun. That was the first time I ever met her.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, absolutely. And the first time I ever met her was in the booth. So we were just doing color commentary together. And obviously, her knowledge and experience in the game is the depth of scope is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And to hear her talk about that, and to hear her talk about the insight, because she's experienced it before, is great. And she's here, and of course, Hall of Famer Chris Fuchs is here.
Right.
Gene Murray. Yeah, I mean, all the people you kind of expect, all the women foosers you kind of expect. It's maybe not a major, but we could argue that Bardo is kind of like a mini major.
Oh, it is. I don't think there's any question. I mean, it's only second to Texas State's, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's a really good point.
Yeah. No, and the energy, of course, I'm sure, as I recall being at Texas State's this year, I mean, wow. I mean, it was just palpable. You could feel it in the room. 444 players and just nonstop. And everybody was just exhausting themselves to enjoy themselves that weekend, which was well worth it. But I'm sure Bardo has the same kind of energy.
Yeah, it does. It's a different, I don't want to say it's muted, but I don't know, Tom. I think there's a reverence that goes on here. Like we're all having fun. Yep. Ben is doing an amazing job. David's doing an amazing job in the tournament, as is Brittany Strasasco, Donald Wilson. They're all been just solid, amazing folks up there on that side, back of the house stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been smooth, and everybody has been here, wanting to play, wanting to hang out again. But there's a reverence that goes on there that. Well, I've never experienced because I've never been in one of these before.
Sure.
So I'm still kind of digesting.
So this is definitely your first Bart O'Hearn Memorial Tournament then, which is great because that you look at this from fresh eyes. That's the kind of perspective we need, especially with InsideFoos. I wish I could be there. I'm like, okay, work kind of gets in the way sometimes, but next year I'll just have to look forward to the next opportunity.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. I'll tell you, sitting there. This is not a good parallel, but at the Hall of Fames over the years, I've been to quite a few.
Okay,
you have people that do their speech, their induction thing, and there's some people. I think some of the Foosers stay, and especially the friends of the people getting inducted. But I would say more than half, if not more, of the people attending this weekend were sitting in the audience for the hour and a half or so long ceremony to honor everyone.
Okay,
and I'm like, I don't know, I was straight up crying during a lot of the stuff that people were talking about because it's heartbreaking, Tom. It's hard. It's hard. We talk about foosball. We talk about it from the technique side. This is there's the mind game. There's all this, and we see that especially. It's like it's distilled through InsideFoos. You see that distilled on streams 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't ever talk about the human side of it. The families, the people that are involved, the heart that goes into it, the energy and time. And when you lose somebody within that family, you feel it. It hurts.
Yeah.
And then you hear the story being told up on stage, and you hear people with very raw emotions saying those experiences. It really hits home, and it's just kind of a reminder, what we sacrifice for the sport that we love in our own place,
Yep. It's worth it because of the community, because of the family that we experience when we go to these tournaments. It's like being with people, of course, that you haven't seen in a while. You get to catch up, and then of course you get to hate them on the table. You like you would a brother or sister, right? You hate them on the table, then you get off the table and you have a drink, and you just have a blast.
That's such a great analogy, Tom. I like that. It's just like your older brother that you just get pissed off at, but still your older brother.
Right.
99% of the time, obviously.
I heard Tommy Atkinson saying that about some of the players that he's come up against over the years, and he's like, I hate that guy. I just hate him on the table, but then we're best of friends off the table.
Right.
So I always found that to be, I guess if you really want to have that competitive edge, you really do have to find an excuse to be, really want to take that person out. I mean, you really, really have to find a way psychologically to psych yourself up to the point where you just want to make sure you stop that person in their tracks and make them cry if you can on the table. But off the table, hey, let me buy a drink.
Yeah. And still that really feeds into that point you're making though. Like, as the younger child, which I'm the youngest child of 3, I'm always trying to figure out, I don't want to sabotage, but I want to, I still want to get seen.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. I totally get that. And it's, you have to overcompensate sometimes, but there's some really good therapists out there, Adam. I can recommend a few if you'd like.
Yeah. No, I've got at least a team. They're on retainer.
Oh, nice. Okay, you have a squad. Awesome. So Adam, have you had a chance to view any of the coverage from Germany this weekend? Have you had a look at any of that?
I did. It was a lot of fun. I got to see some. I think that was Friday morning and some yesterday as well. Unfortunately, the position that I'm at, I haven't really been able to watch it that I would have. I wasn't here this weekend. So I'm looking forward to watching everything later, but I did. I love what Steven was doing out there, and I unfortunately haven't really gotten a chance to get familiar with the other announcers that were there. And watching play on a table that I'm unfamiliar with, it's been eye opening.
Right.
It's like visiting another country for the first time, and you get experience another culture. And actually, Tom, this weekend there's a Bonzini and a Leonhardt.
Really, Bonzini?
I've never played on either one before.
Oh,
the Bonzini has those metal uncounterbalanced men.
Oh, I know the Bonzini very well. It was what I was born on in 1974 when I first played foosball.
Wow.
Bonzini for the first 5 or 6 years of my foosball life. That's all we had, and we loved it. We loved it, and we walked to school both ways uphill.
Wow.
Okay.
In the snow.
In the snow.
Wow.
Just in case you're wondering.
And lava. Yeah. No, no, but see, but I hear that, and the thing with the Leonhard is that the Leonhard feels like if tournament soccer and Dynamo had a child, it would be a Leonhard.
Yeah.
It feels like I got on there for, I don't know, a couple games. Jim Stevens and I played a couple of mess around games on there, and within minutes I was feeling comfortable doing back pins and
Right.
banks from
Yep.
bar, because it's conducive to that.
Well, you've got a stickier ball, and now if you're a traditional pusher or pull shooter on a tornado, you've got to move the ball forward slightly to the rod, because otherwise you're just going to stub your toe.
Absolutely.
So
and for the Bonzini, what I notice is that like pull shots on Bonzini are like gold, because the small men make it so hard to defend against stuff. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, and I feel like I don't want to start quoting Mark Twain or misquoting Mark Twain, but you travel to other countries and you kind of see the world through a different lens, and that's really important for our own personal development.
Right.
And even though we can't I can't, because I can't afford it to go to other countries and see what it's like, you get a glimpse of that watching other tournaments on other tables, and you can kind of see the culture that kind of evolves around it.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to play on those two tables this weekend is really kind of like, for me, because it was a touchstone moment to do that Garlando tournament a couple weekends ago, because I'd never seen it.
Right.
And I'm just, it was, even though I was sitting in my living room in my house on a Saturday morning drinking my coffee, it was still a culture shock moment,
I think, I think this concept of doing the play-by-play remotely, I think is wonderful. I think the only thing that it lacks is, being on the scene and hearing the noise, and of course being there with the crowd. It's certainly, that you have to overcompensate for that a little bit. Maybe a little bit of post-production sound effects might help. I don't know, but
but it's you're absolutely right though. I mean, you've been in the a DJ, right? I mean, you've been in the radio game for a long time, and I have to imagine that would translate into going to a live concert and hearing it,
exactly,
and being there,
and
then maybe trying to watch it on YouTube later and recreate that feeling. It's the same thing like trying to commentate on something remotely.
Oh, sure. And it's exactly it. Exactly right. Yeah, you don't get the feel unless you're right there. But you know what? Someday we're gonna do that. InsideFoos, I'm sure, is always gonna move forward and pick up the pace, and eventually we'll see regular crews going to all of these locations and then doing their live reporting. I just think it's cool that we have two going on at the same time.
I know. No, it's mind blowing. Not only do I have my go bag ready to go if they ever ask me to go in Europe somewhere or anywhere.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's two tournaments this weekend going on through InsideFoos is mind blowing, and I hope that we don't get spoiled. Like I can't. Like I'm sitting here just trying to focus on like commentating and just like being present to what's happening this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fan, because I'm a subscriber, as a fan, if I wasn't here this weekend, I'd be like, oh, I got to go here. I got to look at this. There's this stream. There's that stream. It's like, what's going on, And maybe I'm a huge nerd in that regard, but I'm totally just stoked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, please nerd out as much as you'd like. Yeah, we love that.
Well, that's what I was doing last night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And a poster of Chuck Moore to boot.
Yeah. I don't know if that's nerding out. That might be something else.
Yeah,
but anyway,
something more disturbing.
That's why, as I said, I've got a retainer of a team of therapists. But anyways.
Right. Well, just a reminder, listeners, if you just tuned in, we are talking about Bart O'Hearn in Austin, Texas, and of course, the German Championships, Deutschmeisterschaft 2021. Both tournaments happening this weekend. And of course, we want, because live competition is back, InsideFoos is basically a presence at both locations, and we're talking about how this is working. I mean, it's a grand experiment. It's brand new for us. There's no doubt about that. And as time goes on, it'll get better and better. And we want you to feel free at any time in the near future to chime in. Let us know what your feedback is when it comes to these kinds of events. How do you feel about the coverage? Be brutally honest. And I think we're adult enough to take it. What do you think, Adam?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. After as long as we've had our coffee. we're good.
You and your coffee. We're going to have to get together sometime in person and talk coffee, because coffee and IPAs and wine are my favorite topics off mic. So we'll have to talk about stuff like that.
Just to say this, I was introduced this weekend to, and I don't know the brewery, but we had a Stash IPA, because that's what they have at the bar this weekend. And it's not like the last time I was on the show, I was drinking the hazies, and which I like, because they're juicy, they're
great.
light, they're a little more citrusy. But this is not that, and it's a higher alcohol content, so it's like it has more kick, which I'm not used to. But Jim made a really good point, and this is something I'm going to look at. He said, good IPAs, as you drink them, a couple sips in, get better. Like wine opening up.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to use that as kind of a lodestone going forward to figure out what it is that is actually, what's good, because I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, it's like everybody else. If it tastes good, it is good, right?
Right.
I mean, that's
okay.
The same can be said, for musical tastes. If it sounds good, it is good.
Right. Unless it's the band America, and then you're just politely don't say
Well,
anything.
let's not get into that. We won't get into my pet peeve. But
we'll have that over some coffee then.
Absolutely. So, what's left to play this weekend at the Bart O? What kind of events do we still have coming up?
There's not a whole lot going on. They're still playing out the big events. I think we have the Last Chance DYP is starting. I know they just finished up last night's Mega DYP. I'm looking right now just to see, because now I'm curious. I don't think there's anything else. Let's see. Senior doubles is still working its way through. Junior singles is done. Women's singles is. Let's see. Women's singles is still working.
Okay.
Going through. Sullivan Rue is sitting fifth, sixth.
Really?
Liza Bumbach and Adrian Lee are playing for fifth, sixth right now. And the losers bracket obviously is still, they're just sitting 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th. So that still has quite a bit of way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, the Last Chance DYP, there's not a lot of teams in that, so that's working its way through. That's, of course, everybody that is not in anything else.
Yep.
There's the Pro Singles Playoff, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's just the highest rated non-masters and open singles, because you can't sign up for it. So
you can't. Okay.
I mean, as far as I can tell.
Right.
So those are the big ones happening. The expert doubles is also still going. Oh, hey, Mark Madej, Beth Madej, formerly of Colorado, now in Texas, are winners of the winners in expert doubles.
Really nice.
And they're waiting. Yeah, they're waiting. There's let's see, sitting in the winners of the losers is Chris Fuchs and Adrienne Lee.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, I say, wow. I mean, I'm not shocked to see them there, but this is, we got a lot of drama this weekend, Tom.
Yeah. Well, this is what it's all about, right? And of course, it's difficult to predict, but I'd like you to, I want you to take a shot in the dark or two here. Give me an idea, prediction for, first of all, open singles. Where do you think that's who's going to end up in the finals, and who do you think will take it all?
I'm highly biased. I'm rooting for Trevor. I try to be
Trevor Park
up on, but in the I don't even know what's happening right now, because let me see where we're at here. Trevor and Tracy are playing each other right now, so I don't know the winner. Tracy is playing smart. Trevor has fire in his belly, so that's a coin toss.
Yeah. Okay.
But whoever has to face Trevor, or whoever has to face Tony, is I don't know. Tony is. If you recall, Tom, a couple episodes ago, I said my number 5 top 5 stories developing was maybe a tiny little break in Tony's armor.
A tiny, yes. There's a kink in the armor. Yes,
it is, but it's not. He went and he got he consulted a metallurgist, and he said no.
he welded that one shut. Okay.
Yeah, he did. No, this weekend there's some fire.
Really.
So. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's going to be a really big uphill climb, and I think either Tracy or Trevor could be happy just sitting second after that. But at the same time, Tracy's defense might be able to carry him through. For 2 3 out of 5 sets. I don't know. Just hitting
Okay.
for Trevor again. I don't know. So I'm going to have to put my smart money is going to be on Tony.
And how about open doubles?
Open doubles. We're looking at right now. Table 1 is the finals of open doubles is happening right now.
Really? So I have a feeling that's where Jim is hanging out.
Scott O'Hare. Yeah, it's O'Hare and Spreedeman versus Maras and Atkinson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tommy Atkinson and Rob Morris versus Tony?
Yeah, and that's a huge match because Maras has been on fire this weekend, and that Bart Wars, and I didn't mention this before, but the Bart Wars, for those who have been tuning in this weekend, is a really fun goalie wars format, but banks count as double. So
Banks,
you, 7,
you get 2 points for a double, or for two points for a bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
And it changes. When you're incentivized to do something that's really hard to do, the players that know how to do it, know how to game that, are obviously going to rise at the top.
Yes.
Point being, Maras has been doing really well on that this weekend, and it translates to his game in doubles. So that's a really exciting match going on right there. But of course. Spreedeman and O'Hare are coming from the loser side, but then again, Tony's a force of nature, so I don't know. I don't know where the smart money is there. But Maras and Atkinson are thirsty, so we'll see how that unfolds.
Well, like you say, Morris and Atkinson. I mean, there's a chemistry right there. That's a really good combination, especially if they're both on.
And women's doubles, Keisha Rue, Sullivan Rue are sitting king seat.
Really?
They took out, they took out Ellen Moon and Adrienne Lee. And so there's still a ways to go a little bit in the losers bracket. They've got Dana Thompson, Brittany McDonald. Versus Chris Fuchs and Liz Hill. And they're coming from the loser side, and sitting for third or better is Ellen Moon and Adrienne Lee. So we'll kind of see how that unfolds. Yeah, I mean those are some really great players. So where that's going to go is anybody's guess.
I mean, how do you figure you've got Keisha and Sullivan? I mean, mother-daughter team. I mean, when is the last time that happened, if ever? And sitting king seat, no less. I mean, that's a phenomenal thing. You think about history making.
It is, and I've been saying this. It's been quite a time to be alive, because I'm seeing all these not only parent-child teams or mentorship popping up right now, but the matchups, and as Jim said, an interesting matchup would be the yours playing together.
Yes,
and you had the Roos playing together this weekend in women's doubles, and I don't know. I don't know, but it really, I feel like it's a watershed moment in foosball, because what's happening now is the sport ages and the second and third generation start taking over.
Yep.
What you're really doing, what's really happening, Tom, is a culture is being created. It's not just a bunch of people hanging out at the bar or doing whatever they do in the 70s or the 80s, or it's just it's a hobby. It becomes a family event.
Yeah, it's a way of life.
Right,
yeah.
And that's it. But really, I mean, that ties into what makes ASO and those Little League things such a big deal. Is that it's something you take your kid to on a Saturday or Sunday. It's where you go and you meet your friends and stuff like that, and that can translate to foosball. That's where foosball needs to. That's where foosball has to grow,
right?
Because it can't. It can't do it in the bars. I've been saying this for some time now, but it can't. It's not bar foosball has to go away. I mean, they could still have tournaments in bars. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the growth stems from this sea change that's happening.
No, absolutely, and you can feel it. Like I say, we could feel it at Texas State's. Just to give you a quick anecdote regarding this, earlier today, my wife and I were spending time with some friends. Both our friends are educators in their careers. So as teachers, they're always looking for ways to get through to kids. And so we got into the conversation about foosball. And so we started talking. They have no idea that there's professional foosball. So, they're very curious about that. But then we started talking about the effects that Foosball Clubs USA has had on the school system.
And John O'Brien.
Right,
Oh,
John
yeah.
O'Brien and Mark
What a hero.
Drollet. Yeah, and
Yeah.
my favorite story, Mark Drollet tells it better, much better than I. But he has a student in his class from a few years ago who was missing 40 plus days in a year out of school. He was absent a lot. So Mark and some of the other teachers there got him into foosball. Brought in the foosball tables. This kid got addicted. After the first year of him playing foosball, he missed 1 day at school. That's after missing 40 plus the year before. So it clearly got through to this youngster who turned it around and became a darn good foosball player in the meantime. So this is where it all begins, right? It's all about the support system that's there with young kids, their families, and of course, the school systems. And I'm such a huge fan of Foosball Clubs USA. They do such an amazing thing.
They do. And, and to speak to that point, Tom, as you know, I've been in education for 20 years, and what I do right now, part-time, as I'm a full-time father, stay-at-home father, is I teach violin for after-school nonprofits.
Oh, no kidding.
And
How cool.
Yeah. And one of the things that we do that we focus on is giving space, holding space for kids that need it.
Right.
Not everybody's going to go to Juilliard. Not everybody is going to be a Tony Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that you give a safe space, you give somebody an environment that they don't necessarily get, because I have a lot of disagreements with how school systems, on a national level work and what they focus on. And that's why you have some people like, you would blame a kid. You would say, you're being lazy because you missed 40 days, whatever.
Right.
And it's not, nobody's a monolith. Nobody fits in that monolith, and it's not fair to do it. And what we have to do as adults and educators and as people that should care, we have to look at different options to give to kids, to bring them in and to give them some cohesion to some place.
Yep.
And you couldn't pay me to be shocked that that kid the following year, was showing up. Because he had a place to be. And I'm getting emotional here, Tom, because something I've been really strongly feeling for decades is that you have to give the environment. You don't stick a seed in a pile of sand and just hope something happens with no water.
Right, exactly.
And it's on us as adults to give kids, that space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to hear that. I've always what they have done with that, and what I hope that they've set the model for everybody else to do, has been nothing less than inspiring.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And to think it's as simple as convincing a school district to just put in a couple of donated foosball tables. That's all they got to do. And then stand back and of course, provide a little bit of adult supervision with some instruction, of course. But once that happens, that fertile ground with a great deal of water makes for a pretty dynamic growth.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what we need, of course, to continue this sport. And of course, now that we're all getting back together again to compete, you get more and more people showing up for events like this weekend. Yeah, no, and it's great. And again, and I've been saying this, well, in a very short time that I've been involved with you all, but the kids of the future, as cliche as that might be, and what I saw at nationals was they're just showing up in droves. Parents are like, exactly.
They don't want to do little league. Who knows? But whatever. Like this is a place for them to be in. My gosh, it's a lot of fun. And we as adults and our second, third, our first generation, everybody that exists here, needs to set that example for them.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm seeing it.
It's so cool.
Feeling that.
So cool. Adam, I got to say, I think that the greatest play-by-play foosball announcer of all time has actually joined us. Jim, are you with us?
Hey guys, no, I've been just sitting here listening for a little while and being thoroughly entertained by you guys. Really, really interesting takes on where we are these days in foosball, and Adam nailed it with his observations both about what's going on here this weekend and the sport in general and with the youth. And so, I'm a fan tonight. I'm just listening in. In between matches, we've got two big open finals coming up here shortly.
Right.
With Tony Sprayman involved in both of them. So there'll be one after the other.
Yeah.
Which you can watch at InsideFoos.com, by the way, folks, if you'd like. But but Adam pretty much encapsulated my views, of course, on this weekend. In fact, probably exceeded what I would have reported. And of course, Adam's so spot on with his views on the youth movement, so to speak, with foosball.
So, Jim, I understand you're now a karaoke star.
That was my doppelganger. I apparently people have been coming up to me and saying, "Boy, you enjoyed your singing." I said, "What are you talking about? I don't have any memories of doing any karaoke. What do you mean?" But apparently there might be video or
video.
Yeah, might be video and photo evidence of this, so I can no longer deny it. But no, it's been a fun time. And the one thing about this event, Tom, of course, it means so much to the community.
Yes.
And it's emotional. It really is. I mean, last night's ceremony, I don't know if Adam touched on that at all.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a 2-hour ceremony where we honored 68 fallen Foosers.
Wow.
And so, after that, of course, we still had some matches to do, et cetera. But it was also nice to step next door into the karaoke studio, so to speak, and kind of release, because we are here with friends. We are creating memories. And that's really what it's all about. So many times this weekend, people have come up to me and said, this person, one of these fallen Foosers, I remember playing with them at a tournament back in the 90s or in the early 2000s, or a DYP locally in my hometown or whatever. And they have memories, right? And so that's what we're doing at these tournaments each and every day, each and every moment of these major tournaments, state tournaments, regionals, whatever, international table soccer events as well, because we are creating memories. And certainly going in and having a great time with my friends in the bar and next door, and singing a little karaoke and really letting my hair down a little bit. And I know Adam has said to me, several people have come up to him and said, I've never seen Jim quite like that, and I'm not sure I've ever seen myself quite like that. But it was a lot of fun, Tom. And I'm not sure that I, as Simon would say, I was a bit pitchy.
I see.
But still, it was really fun.
What's your favorite song, Jim? What do you like to sing?
I do not remember.
Anything that's playing.
I'm a big Pearl Jam fan. I love Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
So they didn't have what I wanted actually to do. Off He Goes, and they didn't have it on the playlist. But from last night, it was a lot of fun helping Adam out with Bohemian Rhapsody, which apparently is his specialty, as he proved last night.
No, it's not. No, it's more of a litmus test. And when I know I'm singing that, I know that I should probably go to bed.
No, there's a variety. I'm pretty versatile as far as my musical tastes, and so it was just a lot of fun. And again, getting to do it with our good friend Mark Torres, who is almost a professional karaoke artist,
right?
And so the other thing though, there's a young man here named Evan McGregor, who outstanding foosball player, won the nationals in amateur singles, won beginner singles at Texas State. Won amateur singles here as well.
Wow.
A local kid out of Austin, a sensationally talented player, but also at the age of 16, an incredible blues guitarist.
Yeah. Adam
and we
mentioned
spent
that.
the last couple of nights, and I guess Adam may have touched on it, but wow, it just blew us away.
No
this
kidding.
kid was channeling B.B. King or whoever.
Or Stevie Ray.
And so Stevie Ray like Stevie Ray.
Wow.
And so I have a vague memory of last night singing the Foosball Blues with support from both Evan and his brother Miles, who is an outstanding drummer.
Cool.
And some live music here at this event. So
I would have figured, top foosball players have other talents.
No, and apparently this young man, Evan, and we actually had him in the booth. He actually worked a match with me earlier before he had to go off and play.
Cool.
But apparently he is a cross-country runner with a chance at a scholarship. He is obviously a guitarist. He's a foosball player, a multi-talented, really, really nice kid, and a super talent that I think we're going to hear a lot from.
That's fantastic. Yep. Wow. What an exciting weekend. Jim, did you get a chance in between your matches to check out Germany at all?
I have not had a chance to. I've heard reports from Germany, and of course that's the German Championships, the Deutsche Meisterschaft, presented by the DTFB, and I know our guys are over there, Rich Marsh and Rich Marsh, and of course Stephen Lyall,
yes,
our CEO over there doing a little
play-by-play for the first time, and I don't know that it's play-by-play as much as it's just commentary or a conversation
Well, it is,
between a couple of Englishmen.
It's well done.
But,
I mean, we post a little bit of their stuff earlier tonight. We put a little bit of their play-by-play on there, and we had to toss a little sound effects, but it's cool. I think they did a really nice job. As new additions to Inside Foos, I think they're top notch.
Yeah, and more as Adam and I did a couple of weeks ago from Austria. We're doing these remote broadcasts as much as we can, and that's one of the things that this COVID era has taught us, or really this environment that it's created, where we can do things remotely, whether it's Zoom, whether it's Discord, or whatever. And so we're going to see more of that, and hopefully it'll be, down the road, it'll be something that myself and Adam and Mark and others and Steve and Rich perhaps can do with events from all around the world.
Love it. This is exciting. This is actually a history setting weekend, simply because it's never been done before.
No, it hasn't. No,
it's been amazing. Yeah,
I have a feeling it'll happen again.
It's been hard. Yeah, I mean, and that's Jim. That was one of the things that I was saying is that as much as we've been in the moment here this weekend, honoring the people that we've lost, it's hard to kind of look at, or we haven't really looked at what we're gaining here this weekend going forward, was having these moments where two different tournaments across the globe are being live streamed.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Both at our platform at InsideFoos.com, which is super exciting.
And so, Jim, just real quick before you head back to the booth, what is the most outstanding performance you've seen so far this weekend?
There's been a few of them. Obviously, Sullivan Rue winning expert singles. She was amazing in that final. But a couple other things, and I don't know whether Adam has mentioned them, but Robert Mares playing just sensationally well this weekend.
Nice.
And then our old friend Trevor Park, who really hasn't been a major factor on the Pro Tour in probably 5, 10, 12 years, has come out here and maybe been the second best player here this weekend. Wow. And he is in the finals of open singles, by the way.
Oh, he beat Tracy.
He did. He beat him in 3 straight games, and he'll be facing Tony Spredeman in the final here in a little bit. As I'm literally walking back into the ballroom, kind of see where we are, and we have not started yet.
Wow.
But yeah, Trevor has been amazing. A renewed sort of approach, a renewed interest. He has really been into it. I spoke to him a few minutes ago, and he knew he had to play Tony. He said, I don't know if I have the stamina, Jim. I don't know if I can do this. I said, Trevor, just take it one ball at a time.
Yep.
One ball at a time.
1 point at a time. Absolutely. No, it's that's exciting. So you have still have open singles and open doubles finals to be played?
Yep, open singles, open doubles coming up here in just a few minutes. Tony Spredeman, as I mentioned, in both of them with his partner Scott O'Hare going up against Atkinson and Mares, who have been really amazing here this weekend.
Oh, I'm going to be watching for sure.
Yeah, and Tony actually walking by me right now as he's headed back in to compete. Did they call singles or doubles, Tony? So doubles is up first, as Tony literally walking right by me, and he's headed for table number 1, where he's going to face Robert Mares and Tommy Atkinson. It's been 25 years since they've won a world championship together, and it was one of the more memorable world title runs of the 90s. And we're seeing shades of that. And we did an interview with them after their their last match. Mark Torres spoke with both of them, and they talked about how they have matured as players, how different they are, how much more experienced they are.
Right.
And they are working hard. Tommy's going to head up to Denver to train with Rob in anticipation of the Tornado Championships coming up.
Oh, really?
And I think they are going to be a factor. They are going to be probably a top 3. If you're going to handicap the event going into it, I'm putting them as a top 3 contender for sure.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. And we should all be together for the Tornado Worlds in Kentucky coming up Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing event. That's, of course, September 1st through 6th. At the Clarion on Newtown Pike in North Lexington, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, we'll let you get to your job here. I know that there's a lot of exciting foosball to be played yet, and if anybody wants to join in and watch, InsideFoos.com is the place to go. Check out the live streaming. It's going to be a very intense couple of matches coming right up. So we'll let you get to
your
Jim.
Adam, come on down. Come on back, buddy.
I'm going to be right there. But just before we go, Jim, Tom requested that we call into him later and do Sister Golden Hair.
So no problem, buddy. No problem. I love America. I know how much America enjoys it as well.
I
We can do that and do Ventura Highway immediately after
you
that
know,
as well. Let's do a couple of them.
I was going to say
Yeah.
how much I respected you both, but I'll have to backtrack on that. Sorry,
You
I'll take it
been
back.
through the desert on a horse with no name.
Okay, Jim, I'll meet you in the ballroom in a moment. Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tom, and
All right,
thanks
Jim.
everybody for listening. And head over to InsideFoos.com if you want to watch. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much, Tom. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Adam
See
and
you, Tom.
Jim,
Great job, Adam. Great job, buddy.
Go get them, and we'll catch you guys next weekend here on FoosTalk Live. So, wow, that's amazing. We're going to be standing by to watch InsideFoos.com. Open doubles and open singles about to happen there, so head on over. In the meantime, it's been an absolute blast getting together with Adam and Jim and talk about what's happening in Austin, Texas this weekend at the Bart O'Hearn. A Memorial weekend, of course, a bit somber at moments, but of course, lots of great play, lots of great talent, and we're looking forward to getting together all together at the World's Tornado Championships in Kentucky coming up in September. In the meantime, of course, the German Championships this weekend being hosted by Steve Lyall and Rich Marsh, both of them doing a great job this weekend on Inside Foos. Double coverage. Of course, and we're looking forward to the future and doing this again sometime very soon. But FoosTalk Live itself is returning next Sunday for another great event, another great night of talking foosball. In the meantime, we'll see you on the table.
FoosTalk Live is a product of Inside Foos, all rights reserved. Brought to you in part by InsideFoos.com, Protectoflex, 518 Prince, Foosballers the Movie, Foosball Clubs USA, and the USTSO. Tune in again next week for another episode of FoosTalk Live.
In the meantime,
we'll see you foozin'.